Okay, good evening, everyone. How are we? A little behind the scenes random information that you don't need. Sometimes I spray aftershave before I go on stream. Don't know why. It makes me feel better, I suppose. But it's been a wild day in crypto today. Absolutely bonkers. And in today's stream we're going to see what's next. Is that it all over? Is it done? Is that it? Or is this normal? Is this normal market behaviour? We're going to find out. Perfect, I've got the chat and I'm good to go. Anyway, first things first, let's have a look at the prices. Bitcoin currently right now, $62,000. Can't believe Bitcoin's crashed all the way down to $62,000. Bitcoin is at levels not seen since yesterday. $61,000 now, $62,000. Very volatile right now, very volatile. Bitcoin falling from its high today of $69,000. It's shown on CoinMarketCap is that it never reached $69,000. But it's shown on this wick that it did. But yes, I'll get Bitcoin up on TradingView. I'll get back to the prices firstly, and then we'll jump onto Bitcoin on TradingView. Ethereum is still up 7% on the week. It's currently $3,490. BNB $395. Solana $130. XRP still up at 60 cents. Oh dear, oh dear. Cardano 70 cents and Dogecoin 15 cents. Dogecoin is up 57% this week. Shiba Inu is up 170% this week. The market is crazy this week. And as we can see here, we're in extreme greed right now. And what does man like Warren Buffett say? Be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. The market is very greedy right now, so do what you want to do with that information. But as Jay's saying in the chat, that's the bull run finished, time to start accumulating again. Yeah, it was fun while it lasted. What was that? Was that a week we got? I think that was about a week. It was good, I enjoyed it. As we can see, some meme coins are trending. I think we're actually going to buy a few meme coins. I don't know if we'll post it on the channel or what, but play the game, as they say. But let's have a look at crypto on TradingView. Let's have a closer look. So as we can see here, this is the Bitcoin all-time high, which is back in November 2021, and today we kissed that level. That yellow line is the all-time high, and as soon as we kissed that all-time high, we've been dumping ever since. We reached supposedly $69,000 on the button, which is around here. And then we've been down ever since, so let's see. It had a, in total, 12% dip in the one move, let's say, and the rest of the market just following. But if you've been seeing this market over the past few weeks, it has been well needed. We've been straight up in a straight line. It's been absolutely insane since January. Bitcoin rallied 80%. Mad. From $38,000 to $69,000 real quick. But for anyone who is new here, I've got some good news for you. And I've got a saying that you can maybe take away with you. The good news is that in bull markets, if we are in a bull market right now, corrections are healthy, they are essential. They are the reason that we're able to pump higher, let's say, because nothing goes up in a straight line. And I'll show you an example of that right now. So here is Bitcoin in 2020. So here we can see the lows of Bitcoin around $3,500. Then if you look at this chart from here, it doesn't look like there is much downside action. It looks like a pretty easy ride. But when you look further, when you look deeper into it, then you can see what actually happened. So this looks nice and easy, but what happened on the way up? So on the way up, Bitcoin had a 22% dip. That was the first, let's say, major dip. Right now we're on a 11% dip. Back here in 2020, before the bull run, we dipped 22%. That's big. Currently right now we are only 13%. So judging off history, this dip is very light so far. Then after that we had another rally. Even in here, if you look closely in here, this right here is a 17% dip. So this looks so easy, just a nice straight line up, but inside that run up is a 17% dip. 17%, which is big. That is enough to spook out any new investors. Then the bull market continues on, and what is the next large correction we get? This bad boy here, 32%. 32% Bitcoin dipped, crashed, whatever you want to call it. So this whole run up looks nice and easy. It's up only, but it's not. With inside that run up, there is minus 10, minus 20, minus 30% dips. And then what happens after the dip? Zoom, right back up again. Let's have a look at this one. Another 26% dip. So within there you've got 10%, 20%, 30%, what was that? 30%, 20%, all the way up. So it's not an easy ride. There will be multiple corrections, much worse than we are seeing right now. Right now, 10% is light. So let's say we were to dip 30% in line with what's happened in history. Where would that take us? that would actually make sense. If we were to dip 32% like we have in the previous bull market, it would take us back down here, some historical support and resistance levels that we've seen through the last bull market. Will that happen? We'll need to wait and see. But for anyone who is new to crypto, as I just showed earlier, be ready for deeper corrections than that. They are big. Bitcoin can even see 50% drawdowns. And there'll be new narratives saying, oh, we can't draw down that much anymore because of ETFs. Okay then, we'll see. Time will tell. But remember, ETFs is still, the people who are behind ETFs are still trading Bitcoin. And they're the people who's been trading Bitcoin for the last 14 years. So just because an ETF exists doesn't mean the volatility doesn't exist. As we've seen this past, since the ETF was launched in, let's say, January, Bitcoin is up over 300%. So the volatility is still there. Yeah, the volatility is there on the upside, but it won't happen in the downside. Okay then, come on. Let's be honest. Someone saying, would you be pulling out of thematics when it's dumping like this? This is not a dump. As I mentioned previously, this is light. So this 10% dip, not a dump. This 10% dip is the same as this. This will put it into perspective. That is what 10% looks like. That is nothing. Cryptocurrencies are volatile up to 50, 60, 70%. This is not a dump. This is a much needed correction. That's 10% and that's 11%. This is we've got to come. Huge corrections. Actual dumps. This is nothing yet. So yeah, I would flip the mindset on that. So no, I wouldn't be pulling out, and that's another thing as well. So throughout this volatility that you see, this is why there is a term HODL in crypto. One sec. So in crypto there is a term HODL, which just means hold. And the reason for that is it's the most profitable way. Rather than, because let's say in here when Bitcoin crashed 20% or 30% in here, if you sold, you missed out on all of that upside. So if we were to use the example that was given in the chat, would you sell your whatever it was because of this dump? If I sell here, if we're in the start of a bull market, look at what I'm about to miss. Bull markets are not for trading. I would say bear markets are for trading. People might disagree with me on this, but bull markets are for holding, waiting, and taking profit. That's it. Don't try and sell a bit to buy back a bit lower and then make a bit of profit and then flip it to this. Bull markets move different, because let's say you sold here to buy back lower, right? I'm going to sell here and I'm going to buy back lower. The market reverses, it starts pumping again. You've still not bought back in yet. So what do? You're literally forced to either buy back in higher and lose money or miss the full run. Bull markets are not for trading. If you're a trader, trade. And when I say trading, I mean swing trades, selling your assets in the hope of buying back lower because things are really high right now. We're due a correction. Do that in a bear market. Don't try and trade a bull market. If you're new to crypto, if you're not getting experience, don't even try, because this market will humble you real quick and you'll miss out, or you'll buy back higher than you sold at. So the beauty is that we've been long overdue a correction, and Bitcoin just hit a new all-time high. This is insane. This is the most bullish, exciting time ever. To be honest, I wish we got a 20% correction here, because after that it is a moon time. Absolutely moon time. Might be a daft question, but why doesn't ETH pump during Bitcoin 20% corrections? Because Bitcoin is the market. Bitcoin controls the market. If Bitcoin comes down, the rest of the market comes down. If Bitcoin goes sideways, the rest of the market can perform. But yeah, the rotational play, when Bitcoin, the market cap of Bitcoin moves into altcoins, like this chart here, this means that money rotates from Bitcoin into altcoins. That is different from Bitcoin just crashing. If Bitcoin just crashes 50%, altcoins won't pump. Altcoins will get slaughtered. Altcoins will crash 80%, 70%. So you either need Bitcoin to perform or go sideways for altcoins. So yeah, any large correction we see in Bitcoin will result in corrections on altcoins. Man, like Todd, key resistance zone and profit taking area, surely normal to see a reaction like this at major highs. Exactly that. Where is it? I've got that many Bitcoin charts. That is exactly it. I can't even find the Bitcoin chart I had up a minute ago. But yeah, exactly that. But this is the chart that is exciting for altcoin holders, the Bitcoin dominance chart. Because when this starts to fall, which we hope happens very soon, altcoins take off. The market is poised right now. The market it hasn't been this bullish in years. It's crazy. 1 sec, just need to try and fix this. Yeah, that should be it. So yeah, I'm sure all the seasoned Bitcoiners or people who's been in this market for a while will know that these days are part and parcel with crypto. And trust me, there's going to be days that are very scary. Very scary. You think, whoa, this is it, it's over. The market is still in extreme greed right now, which in a real correction, the market gets into extreme fear. That's when you know that it's a scary one. Because right now, people are still greedy. They're still excited on it. So all is looking really good and really exciting. Okay, so we're going to jump back into the chat right now and see what's happening in here. Too late to get involved before the boom or perfect time. So that's down to you, but I'll show you an example to see if you can if you can make your own mind up on that. So let's use this one. So again, if we let's think about it. Let's think about it in the previous bull run, right? That's the easiest way to do this. So if we remove so where are we right now in comparison to where we were back in 2020? I'll show you right now. So here is the previous all-time high, which was in 2017. So today we just tipped the all-time high. That's what we just done today. We just tipped the 2021 all-time high, and I'll mark that as well. So in 2017, we hit an all-time high. We went into a prolonged bear market for years. Then, after the halving, we broke out, and then we reached the all-time high again. So what that means is, in 2017, people who bought Bitcoin at $20,000 sat in a loss for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, and then one day, Bitcoin was back at its all-time high again, which currently, right now, we're in the same place. So Bitcoin hit its all-time high back in 2021. Since then, people have been in a loss the full time for 2.5 years, 3 years, and now Bitcoin is right back up to its all-time high again. What happened after we hit this level back in 2020, 2021? Bitcoin went on a massive bull run and did over 244% from that level. If Bitcoin was to do something similar and do another 244% from that level, that would take us to roughly what you saying, 220k? Is that 220k? Yeah, 220k. Which my guess is that'll probably line up with a fib as well. So the question was, is it too late now? That's down to the individual. Bitcoin is high right now, it's at an all-time high, but if you bought the all-time high breakout in 2020, you still had 200 odd %. So people who bought at 20k back then could have sold at 69k. Let's see where the fib takes us. I'm sure it's 220. So that is that is some confluence, if you can call it that. Look at that. So that is where 220% takes us, almost to a full fib. The only thing is that this year, this happens before the halving. So what does that mean? That means that it's either being front run or that during or after the halving, when Bitcoin has a rally, people say this time it's different, it's going to go to 500k or $1 million because this time it was pumping before the halving. So it's changed, times have changed, the ETF. So as the price will get up to 200 odd K, people will be thinking it's going to $1 million, but then it will just crash again and then do the same again. That's my thoughts on a potential scenario, let's say. It's Corona time. Thanks for streaming so much. It's appreciated. at the moment. All the info, no problem. Thank you, sir. Also, Dan's saying altcoins, not Bitcoin. Well, what happened back in... So, this moment here is where we are now in the market, right? So that's the 20th. So, let's get a bit of zoomage on that. Let's find out where altcoins were at this time. So this is the 14th of December 2020. So the question is now a good time for altcoins? Let's see what it was like back then. December 2020 for altcoins. I think we know what the answer is going to be here. Let's find December 2020 for altcoins. So this chart here is the altcoin market. And let's see where December 2020 was. It was right here. This is the altcoin market, December 2020. When Bitcoin had just hit its previous all-time high again, this is where altcoins were. And what happened after that moment that Bitcoin hit its all-time high and broke into a new all-time high? What happened after that? We've seen the biggest altcoin bull cycle in history. The market cap went from 150 billion to 1.7 trillion. So if you use the data of previous cycles, then you might come to the conclusion that it is a good time for altcoins right now. I can't tell you if it is or if it isn't. One, because I don't know, and two, I'll go to jail. I'm not a financial advisor. If you want those questions answered, you'll need to speak to a professional financial advisor who's been to university and studied all the books. I'm just a random guy on the internet. I don't know a thing. I don't know a thing. Wagwan General, Jordan Green Coach, Gary Patterson, Sam's Loving Their Lives. How long do you see the market being red for? Not long. Again, if you look at corrections throughout bull markets, they don't last long. Is a 20% correction still possible? Definitely, yeah. Definitely. But there is so much demand right now, there's so much buy-in that any dip is being bought up straight away and we're just breaking into all the new highs over and over. No, I definitely don't see the market being red for 45 weeks. You're lucky if it will be 4 days. You're lucky if it will be 24 hours at this rate. What's your plans for Alva? I will post my plans for Alva in CC Pro. It's nice to see a bit of red candles again. Are you topping up on Alvara at current prices? Yes. Let me have a look at Alvara if it loads up on here. Also as well, I'll take a look at the CC Pro basket, see how that's getting on. So here is the CC Pro basket. The high it reached in the past 24 hours, it got up as high as $16,700. For anyone who doesn't know, the basket is our attempt to take $5,000 and turn it into $100,000 over the course of a bull run. We have already banked $5,000. So that means that this basket is running risk-free. That is it. We invested $5,000. We got it up to $16,000. We then withdrew $5,000 into stablecoins, and now this basket runs risk-free. We either make $100,000 or we can't lose. It is a risk-free trade, which any traders will know that is the best case scenario. A risk-free trade, you can't get any better than that. And then this is quite interesting as well. So this is a basket. This is the orange line is the Bitcoin performance, and the blue line is the performance of the basket. So a couple of weeks ago, the basket was up 180% profit and Bitcoin was up 90% profit. And then as you can see, as soon as the altcoins dumped, Bitcoin pumped. So this, even on this chart, you can see how the dominance moves between altcoins and Bitcoin on the way up. How long are you hoping for the CRV swing trade? Who knows? In these conditions, they come through much quicker. So hopefully not too long. A week, 2 weeks maybe. Thoughts on any other factors? Example, US election. Do you think that could change the next few months Bitcoin cycle? No, I think everything is always priced in because they control everything. They control the markets, they control the news. So it's all priced in basically. The only thing I would say isn't priced in is like the Bitcoin halving and how much demand there can be and how much panic there can be. When prices start shooting up, things can go crazy, which we see every bull run. Every bull run, it overshoots people's wildest dreams. So yeah, I think the goal for the elections, not to be political because it's all a load of nonsense and they just make everything up anyway. In my opinion, the elections, they'll pump the stock market. It just makes the most sense. They'll pump the stock market to make the country look like it's in a better place. Which is good for Bitcoin, because if the stock market pumps, Bitcoin pumps. So it's in their best interest that the stock market performs well over the next few months. And if the stock market performs well, then cryptocurrency performs well also. And as you can see, would you look at that, when Bitcoin hits an all-time high and drops, the Dow Jones, the stock market hits an all-time high and drops at the exact same time. Imagine that. No one could ever have seen that coming. The stock market is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the stock market. So this isn't just a crypto thing today. Stocks are down, gold's down. Or gold is back up now. So yeah, it's not just crypto. This is just worldwide liquidity. And gold is breaking out into a new all-time high. Almost. It's up dancing with a new all-time high. Liam, I thought there wasn't a bull run coming until after the halving. Same. Same. And I've mentioned a lot that it's best to plan off or have your expectations set deeper into the future. Then if you need to wait that long, you are ready for it. You are prepared to wait long. But if it happens sooner, then that's a bonus. And currently right now, it is starting to happen sooner. So whether it continues or whether we cool off, which it doesn't look like it's cooling off, the charts, all the charts look insane right now. So yeah, plan for further down the road, and if it happens earlier, happy days. Jay's asking to see the Bitcoin dominance. The Bitcoin dominance is it's looking good. As soon as this starts to drop, as soon as we set some lower lows, it's party time, because we're still setting some higher highs in here. So this is still in an uptrend, the Bitcoin dominance, which makes sense because Bitcoin is pumping. Bitcoin is leading the market. When this starts to go sideways, if we can get this, like if for Bitcoin dominance to move like this, that is very, very bullish for altcoins. That's like the best case scenario. You don't really want it to just start dropping immediately now. Like that. That's quick. But if it can stretch out for a few weeks, a few months, that's good. Because during the sideways action, that's when altcoins can start to pump. And why that happens, what causes it to happen, what is the reason that happens, is that if Bitcoin is to go sideways, like this here, people start to get impatient. So Bitcoin is up at $69,000. It's just staying at $69,000, and they get impatient, and they see some altcoins taking off, and altcoins doing 100%, 500%, 1,000%. So when Bitcoin's going sideways, they think, I'm going to do altcoins instead. That is when they invest in altcoins, and that is when this altcoin, the Bitcoin dominance, starts to fall, which we are very excited to see. Swissborg is currently down. App is running slow. I'll have a wee check at that right now. Let me know in the chat, is anyone happy to see some red and think that it's much needed? That's kind of the way I'm feeling, because the longer it goes up only, it's like, shit, I know what's coming next. I know what's coming. Just do it. Just do it. Yeah, my Swissborg app is running slow right now as well. I'll see if I can get an update live. Yeah, so see if I get a reply from Swissborg. I imagine they'll be working on it right now. If it's running slow, one sec. And then we've got Bitget was all glitchy this afternoon as well. You do see that on all the exchanges. When there is that much traffic, that is, it's unfortunate. That is what happens. And it always tends to happen around Bitcoin all-time highs, strangely. But I suppose at all-time highs, that's where the most trading is, that's where the most volume is, that's where the most selling is, that's where the most excitement is. So it does make sense. There's a lot of traffic. Very happy to see red. It's nice to see red before the halving. Happy to see red deck. A few buy orders hit tonight. Buying Borg for sure. Swissborg hasn't shown me my portfolio. A bit of a pullback was certainly needed. It's been up only since the end of January. Shit myself, to be honest, seeing an all-time high before the halving. The red is welcome. Red or green makes no difference to me now. Got my sell target set. That is some golden mindset there from Jay. Red or green makes no difference for me. I've got my sell target set. That's perfect. If you can simplify your crypto journey to that, to be detached from if it's green right now or red right now, and just don't care if it's green or red until your targets get hit, you're going to be in a very good position to trade this market correctly. Because if you start getting FOMO, if you start getting excited, if you start getting panicky, if you're scared, if you think should I sell a bit because it's going to dump and then I'll buy back lower, there's so many thoughts in your mind and so many competing thoughts. If you can just not care, have your profit targets set, and I'm just going to sit back and do nothing until they get hit. That is Jay's method, and I agree with that method. Simplify your journey. Don't try and chase dips or chase pumps to make a bit extra here and there. Simplify your journey. So Swissborg did reply, it's working but it's slow. They are fixing the issue right now. So Swissborg app still is working, it's just running a bit slow right now. So that is the update from Swissborg and they are fixing it right now, which is good to see. It's funny though, because like it just shows how quick sentiment can shift. Bitcoin hit $69,000 today, and some people are scared or panicking or thinking it's all over or whatever it is. It's crazy how fast the swings are in crypto, from euphoria to panic. Like literally within the one day, it was like, yes, we'll go to the moon, and then, oh, it's all over in the one day. That's why you just buy and hold and wait on your targets being hit is the best method. Because if you were to try and trade this, you would be selling this, selling, buying this, selling this. It's a mess. Just wait and just ride it up. Not financial advice. Make sure you check out the FCA's website. Get all your information from the FCA. Cryptocurrency is extremely risky. You should never invest in cryptocurrency. You'll lose all your money. Just buy government bonds. In fact, I'm not allowed to tell you that either. Go see a financial advisor. They've been to uni for 4 years and they really know what you should do with your money. In fact, I'm allowed to say this because this is my opinion, right? I believe that well, some financial advisors will be switched on and they'll think for themselves, right? So if you're a financial advisor and you think for yourself, this isn't at you, but it's at the other majority, let's say. Majority will probably annoy people, but I think that financial advisors don't have a clue, and the reason I think they don't have a clue is that they are being taught from a book what to basically tell people to do with their money. Who writes the book? The government write the book. Does the government want all the people to be rich and leave the country? No, they don't. So a financial advisor is basically just telling you what the government wants you to do. Get a pension, buy government bonds, like all that nonsense. No financial advisor or financial advisors that go by the book will never tell you to invest in crypto, ever. Crypto is the best performing asset of the last decade. It's the best performing asset of the last 4 years. It's the number 7 asset by market cap on the planet. Bitcoin is bigger than silver. Bitcoin is valued at $1.4 trillion. But financial advisors won't tell you to buy it. They'll say it's too risky. My guy, Bitcoin has been here for 14 years. And it is the most profitable asset in the world. The best performing asset in the world. Why you tell me not to buy that, but go buy government bonds and make 2% when inflation's 12%? Financial advisors make you lose money. It's probably rattling a few cages. People are like, that's not right. I'm a financial advisor. But they're just they might know that book like the back of their hands that they're being taught in university. But just remember who writes that book and what the intentions of the people who write that book are. That's why you should learn from people rather than learning from the government, because you don't know the intentions behind it. So although I can't tell you to buy crypto, I can't tell you anything positive about crypto because it's illegal or whatever the regulations are. If you want to know the regulations, go check the FCA's website. So although I can't speak about crypto in that light and I can't say a word and my hands are tied, what I can say is financial advisors don't have a clue unless they've experienced it in their own life and actually manage money for themselves. If they're just telling you what it says in a textbook, the textbooks are wrong, intentionally wrong, to keep you in the system, to keep you working till you're 70 years old. So it's not a dig at financial advisors, it's a dig at the people who do the curriculum for a financial advisor course. And that's why I'm not allowed to give you any financial advice, because I would rather the best for you. I want you to become financially free. So I'm censored. I'm not allowed to say a word. Don't speak about crypto, because people actually make money off that. So you're banned from speaking about crypto. But the financial advisor, they can tell you to go buy bonds because they've got a signature on a bit of paper that says they can tell you that information because we gave them it. Look, I've got a bit of paper here that the government gave me to say that I can tell you what to buy. So you should go buy government bonds. You should get a pension. But I need to put tape over my mouth and I'm not allowed to say a word about crypto, or else I'll get the jail. Financial advisors get paid on commission. They're incentivized to sell you certain products regardless of the benefits. My financial advisor lost me money last year on my pension, a 0.5% loss. It's a scam. The full system is a scam. Financial advisors are agents of the scam to put you deeper into the scam. If you want a financial advisor, get a private one. Get a rich person that's navigated the world and got themselves rich. don't go on fucking Google and get a financial advisor, because they're going to put you in a pension that's a load of nonsense, government bonds that are a load of nonsense, and just be so by the book, literally by the book. They are being taught by the government what to tell you to do with your money. And if COVID told anybody anything, do you think the government really wants what's best for you? Eat out to help out during the deadliest virus ever. Go out and get fast food and we'll give you 50% off. So, if you're a financial advisor, I get it. Your hands are tied. You're told by the government, this is what you should tell people to invest in. Understand that. It's nothing against the people. It's the system itself that's a scam. And people in the chat are proving me right. The extor's getting in by the SEC. And it'll be even worse in America. Even worse. Financial advisors in America will be insane. So that's how it really works. The people like me are not allowed to speak about anything financial. That's why we need to say not financial advice, not financial advice, not financial advice, because it's illegal for us to do that. The only people who aren't censored and the only people who get the green light from the government is people who go through the government's course. The government say, okay, if you want to go through our course, our financial advisory course, we'll give you a certificate that allows you to tell people what to invest in. But you need to do our course first. And what does our course consist of? A load of garbage, like pensions and bonds. It's all a big scam. But not financial advice. So yeah, apologies financial advisors, but that's just my humble opinion. Don't listen to what I say. I'm just a random guy on the internet. I've not got a clue. I wonder if on a financial, I might do a financial advisor's course just for a laugh to see what sort of stuff that gets promoted, because I bet you they don't even mention gold, the only hard, safe, secure, sound asset ever, and I bet you it's not even included. And the reason why it won't be included is because the government can't make any money off it. The government can't get a cut. So the safest, soundest, most secure, solid, hard, real money, the only hard, real money on the planet, and I can guarantee you it will not be promoted by financial advisors. By the book financial advisors. Obviously you'll get financial advisors who think for themselves and they say, look mate, Bitcoin's been the best performing asset of the last 14 years. You should probably allocate about 10%, 20% of your overall portfolio into Bitcoin. You should also allocate about 20% of your overall portfolio into gold, because it's solid. If everything else goes tits up, at least you've got your gold. Then you can diversify, you can go into property. That's what a financial advisor who thinks for themselves will say. But you'll get the ones that, the book told me to get bonds, so get bonds. Get a pension. Pensions are really good. They're dead behind the eyes. They're dead behind the eyes. They're just reading nonsense off a book. They're the most dangerous people. People who just read stuff off a book and they don't actually compute it in their own head first. I read it on the government's book, so it's true. Well, how did that go in 2020, 2021? When you just blindly listen to the government. How did that go? But anyone who did think for themselves in 2020, 2021, they seen right through it. They were like, that's a pile of nonsense. I'm not doing that. So, aye, bit of a rant, but it's true. It is true. It is facts. If you've got a financial advisor, somebody in the chat there just says they're down 0.5% because of their financial advisor, but actually they're down over 10% because you've got inflation as well. So if you're not making at least 8 to 10% a year on your assets, you're losing money. So by your financial advisor returning you 0.5%, they're actually returning you 10.5%, minus 10.5%. So if you've got a financial advisor, chuck them in the bin. How much do they even charge? Can somebody tell me that? I'd love to know. Because a family member of mine had a financial advisor a few years ago, and they told me about it, and basically the financial advisor never had a clue about money or business or anything, but they had a qualification, and then they can go advise people. It's mind-blowing. But how much is a financial advisor? Can somebody give me some numbers on it? I'd love to see. Obviously they make affiliate commissions, but well, Chloe in the chat, Chloe is highly, so Chloe's an amazing example, right? Chloe is a highly educated individual that I think's done almost every high course you can do. Financial advising, banking, you name it, Chloe's done them all. But Chloe is one of the people who I explained think for themselves. So Chloe does all these things, she goes through the roles, but she also thinks for herself, and at the same time as learning, she's saying, I'm learning this, but that's a load of nonsense. And that is the difference between someone who thinks and someone who just reads blindly. And Chloe's obviously done a financial advisory course as well, and she's saying, don't bother, it's boring, you're correct, it's all about bonds. Wow. Oh, I bet you could win the 1 million jackpot on the bonds. I know, I forgot about that. The bonds is like a lottery. It's mad. But that took a bit of a turn. I'm still hopeful that we'll get a price on how much a financial advisor costs. But Bitcoin right now is $62,800, which is still okay. It's still nice. Last week we were $57,000, now we're up to $62,000. One of the things that we always say is, if in doubt, zoom out. So if you look at the chart today, you're like, oh no, what's happening? It's all over. If in doubt, zoom out. Right, I've zoomed out. This looks better. I'll zoom out even further. This looks better. I'll zoom out even further. This looks better. So if you ever find yourself panicking, if in doubt, zoom out. Have a look at a chart, see where we are, and you'll gain more, not only more confidence, but more understanding of where we are. You'll have a better perspective of where we are. Wow, is that true? Jack Jarvis, I get a 5% pay cut for the year. Did you get a direct pay cut? Do you mean, or do you mean inflation caused it? Like, or did you get a direct 5% pay cut? If that's true, that is mad, because I'm sure Jack works for a bank. Wow. But yeah, if in doubt, zoom out on Bitcoin, and the same goes for almost every other asset. What's your favourite asset? Let's say Solana. Solana over the past day, it's dumped from $140 to $120, but if in doubt, zoom out. The past 7 days, it's looking good. The past month, it's looking good. The past year, it's looking really good. So yes, if in doubt, zoom out. Oh, right, so Jack got a 5% pay rise this year. So yeah, 5% pay rise. let's say inflation is, the last few years it's been minimum 10%. The government move around the figures a bit and remove things from the basket of goods to adjust inflation to something that's a bit more acceptable. But real inflation is like at least 10%, let's be honest. So by getting a 5% pay rise one year, you're still down about 5% from the year previous because of inflation. Your financial advisor won't tell you that. Why not? Because the government don't tell them that in the course. The government tell them that inflation's good. Inflation will cause more productivity in the economy. Inflation is really good. You should like inflation. That's what the government tell you. That's what the government tell accountants. They tell financial advisors. Anybody that deals with money, that is what the government tell them. Inflation is good. If you read a textbook from the government university, they're all the same thing. It says inflation is good. That tells you everything you need to know. Inflation is the reason why you can't afford a house, you can't afford anything, you can't afford rent, you can't afford food. The reason you can't afford all of these things, I can't afford all of these things, everybody in the UK is struggling, is because of inflation. The same in America, the same everywhere. Inflation is killing everybody. Everybody's purchasing power is degrading to zero in real time. The last few years, inflation has been easily 10% and above. Even in 2020, let's be honest, inflation was probably really like 50%. If you think about wood, steel, petrol, food, gas, electricity, all of them were up. Well, the building materials were up over 100%, 200%, and they've not came back down. So real inflation, the government says 4% or 6%, whatever it is, but it's really like 50%. So if you don't get a 50% wage increase, you're 50% poorer than you were last year. And that has been happening year after year, and it's been accelerated the last 4 years with money printing. This is why I invest in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is deflationary, the absolute opposite from fiat currency. Fiat currency is inflationary. They print more and more and more, which makes the value go down. Bitcoin is the opposite. They produce less and less and less, and the value goes up. Pounds and dollars is unlimited. They can print it to infinity. Bitcoin is limited, a hard limit, a hard cap, 21 million ever. That is why the value of those 21 million will always increase. Not financial advice, check the FCA's website, blah, blah, blah. I would say the reason I get passionate when I speak about these things is because I've got family members, I've got friends who break their backs working for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, and they still can't afford life because of inflation, because the currency system that they use is broken, it's flawed, it's built to be against the person who is using it. That is why I get so passionate. Because you can work as hard as you want, but if you're still using this inflationary currency and you don't beat inflation, you're getting poorer. You can work as hard as you work every hour under the sun. You'll have heard that as well, that the woman down the road, she's got 3 jobs or 4 jobs, but she still can't make ends meet. That's not because she doesn't work hard enough. That's because inflation has absolutely destroyed her. It's destroyed the purchasing power of that currency. The minimum wage of £12, whatever it is, that £12 isn't really £12 anymore. That same £12 from 5 years ago, the purchasing power is maybe like £3 now. So what £12 got you 5 years ago, you're lucky if £3 can get you it today. which is why I do Bitcoin, which is why I do cryptocurrency. It's one of the only things that you can opt out of that broken system. You go to a financial advisor, they will not tell you a word about that. They'll say, oh, inflation's been good this year. The government quoted 4%. That's good. That's really good for the economy. It brings the economy up. Gets the country on its feet. You know, inflation's good. Government bonds, you know, you can make about 5%. So if inflation's 4%, you can make 5%. You can make, you know, easily 1% a year. Which is really good returns in this market. That'll be £500, please. It's all a scam. But anyway, that went off in one. But the main point of this live stream was to let you know that yes, we've seen a small correction. However, as I showed you previously, in all the previous bull markets of Bitcoin and altcoins, we see 10, 20, 30% drops. Right now, we're currently on 10%. So don't be alarmed if we see 20% or if we even see 30% down to retest this level here. Don't be alarmed. If you don't want to be alarmed and if you want to stay up to date, or if you want to sack off your financial advisor and join people who truly want the best for you and who don't need to show you some random government nonsense, check out CC Pro. I imagine a financial advisor is roughly about the same price. Nobody get back to me in the chat room how much a financial advisor was, but let's say it's roughly that. You can get advice from people who've been in crypto for 7 years, and yeah, what's involved in this is unbelievable. The amount that you get in CC Pro, unbelievable. But yeah, there is a link down below where you can check out that if you're interested in joining. Apart from that, I will be back very soon for a marathon stream when Bitcoin hits new all-time highs. So if you want to be notified when I go live for that, which could be tomorrow, could be the next day, could be next week, I'll be marathon streaming when Bitcoin breaks that all-time high and is in price discovery, because that's going to be a really exciting time for the market and for Bitcoin. So yeah, if you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you very, very soon. Cheers.
Stop.